Dance up in the morning beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. You'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight.
Howdy there, I'm Matt McKinley and we're burning daylight.
In the saddle till the job's done right.
Welcome to Burnin' Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy.
I forgot to pop us on the screen. Damn it.
That is okay.
Yeah.
I've got a face for radio, not TV.
I know, but we're in the age of YouTube and everybody's on video now.
Everybody's on video. You can't do shit without being on video.
I know. You're a nerd if you don't got video.
Yeah,
Nerd.
pretty much.
If you don't got a video, I can't remember the order of this, but nope, wrong one. I think it's
Shut the hell up. Why is she still talking?
You're gonna have way too much fun with those, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
Oh man.
Well, Bradley, we're gonna talk about the oil supply chain because you're a little more involved in that side of things than I just talk shit, but like you guys are an independent fuel station. So
Correct.
Now I guess we can get into it later, but from the way I understand, like there's only a handful of refineries left. Like they started one of the genius ideas they did with all this like Green New Deal nonsense is to, I guess it was even before they passed the Green New Deal, but it's like wasn't it Obama years when they started shutting down the refineries?
Well, you would probably know that honestly better than myself, but I know recently the refinery problems have, I don't know, I don't want to get right into the conspiracy stuff, but man, there's sure been a lot of breakdowns and issues, and a lot of it stems back to a couple of winters ago, like when Texas was shut down.
Oh, right.
Because of the big freeze. And it took months and months and months for those to get working again. In fact, it took over a year. So, and that was also when the world was kind of opening back up. So we were behind the eight ball. I mean, at the flip of a coin.
Well, because wasn't like the spot market on like oil, or I guess it wasn't the spot market, but like oil futures were negative there for a couple days or something.
Right, when all that fuel and stuff was down, just above $1, oil was trading in the negatives, which I didn't even know could happen until that deal.
I didn't either, and yeah, it's almost like, I mean, I guess kind of sum it all up is shit gets weird when you shut down the entire fucking economy.
Imagine that.
Yeah, shit
Imagine
gets haywire. And now like we're essentially on a war footing. Like we're not, I can't even say we're not mobilizing the military right now because we got something like 300,000 troops in Europe right now.
Right.
Like the 101st Airborne's in Romania, and Poland both. So like right on the border of Ukraine, just ready to roll in if need be. And we're not buying Russian oil. Well, we are, just not directly.
Not directly, exactly.
Not directly.
Yep.
But
we're still buying it. And anybody that doesn't think that's crazy.
We're buying it through the UAE and Saudi Arabia and
exactly
else.
Yep.
They're just buying cheap Russian oil, marking it up and selling it back to us and using their own production at home.
Right.
And yeah, and then they also told Biden to just go ahead and piss off. We're cutting production 20% because money is good right now.
Right.
It's
So, and that's another thing. Getting back to the actual supply is these local guys can make so much more money shipping it overseas right now.
oh yeah.
So that hurts our local supplies for sure.
And then like we're sending a bunch like out of the, what do you call it, the strategic oil reserve, like the Department of Energy and the Department of Defense have like just in case of, like, because it takes a lot of oil to run a war. It turns out
It takes a shitload.
a lot of fucking oil. Yeah, if you think your pickup is burns a lot of fuel, try a jet or a tank or goddamn.
Try an M1 Abrams tank.
Yeah, or the A10 Warthog that doesn't fly very fast at all, but it's just carrying every gun known to man. Like all the cool
Right.
shit is on one
Yep.
aircraft.
Yep.
Which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy watching that shit work. But also, yeah, it's it turns out it takes a lot of oil to run a war. That's
Yeah, it's like we're on that gray line on a war rationing deal.
yeah.
But they're ramping up production. They really are trying to do that. It just, you're 6-8 months out on any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because it also, well, because of all the new regulations and whatnot.
Yes, that does not help anything.
Well, these guys plan 5-10 years in the future.
Right.
And so they just stopped investing over here because they weren't going to be able to. They're shutting down drilling permits, all sorts of and I'm not even opposed to the green energy shit if it worked and if it was ready, but it's obviously not ready.
We're a long ways from it being ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe not in our lifetimes.
Right. We don't, like, there's no way you could make enough, electronic vehicles, but even so, like, if you're making the electronic vehicles because you want to do it for climate change, like, you're either mining with heavy machinery or child labor for those minerals. That's literally kind of not much in between. Like you're doing a big heavy industrial mine like we have here and other parts of the world, or it's like child slaves in the Democratic Republic of the Congo just digging it out by hand.
Tough decision.
I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a toughie.
If you're on the left-hand side, that's a toughie.
It's a toughie. Yeah, so we got that going on, and yeah, like I said, it is almost, we're like on war rations, but not officially. And,
right.
And I guess it's expensive as shit out here. I mean, I think we're the second highest prices by state in the continental
State average.
U.S. Yeah, in the continental U.S. anyways.
Behind California.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like us, California, and New York are all right there, and then Oregon, Washington, all about the same.
Right. Yeah.
Alaska. I bet. I don't know. I bet fuel prices are pretty cheap in Alaska. They got all the oil right there.
Gosh, I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I bet they don't have any refining capacity up there though.
And if so, you could probably only run it for just a couple of months at a time.
Yeah, no shit.
You can't run that crap when it's minus 40 outside.
Yeah, you can't pump crude oil very
no.
far when it's that cold, I guess.
It don't like it.
no likey.
No likey.
Yeah, so, and then Europe is properly fucked with the whole Nord Stream deal. And
dude, I am. If people think it's crazy here, I would not want to be in Europe right now.
They're saying like firewood's the new gold in Germany right now.
Yeah, like you literally may not be able to heat your apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you'll see people in the city like pulling up floorboards for heat.
Oh, that's scary, and that's where a lot of our natural gas and propane is going too. Is
Yep.
over there.
Yeah, because well, Trump called it. He that Nord Stream deal there's like 40% of no, it's 40% of Germany's natural gas came through that Nord Stream pipeline.
Yep.
And that's another one. I don't know if we'll ever find out who blew it up, but I don't believe it was Russia.
No, I think it was us.
I think us or England, or
Right.
we helped Poland and Ukraine do it. One of those options is far more likely. Like,
Yep.
Russia's pretty dumb sometimes, but that one don't make any sense.
No, I don't think they're that dumb.
When they can just shut it off on their end.
Turn the valve off.
Yeah, but instead they're like, no, we're gonna go all the way out into the middle of the Baltic Sea, out by Denmark,
and set
instead.
some explosives.
Yeah, do it. Just do it up right in the middle of the damn pipeline. Not do it on our end where it'd make more sense, or not just shut it off. Shut it off, turn it on, shut it off. Like, no, I have a hard time. But people are so freaked out by Russia. Like, I don't know. It's but yeah, that being said, like that
it's not good for Europe at all.
No, not at all. And it's not good for us either, because now it makes more sense for the big companies to ship it over to Europe because they're going to pay more for it.
They're making 10 times more money shipping it over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's another thing about war, is it makes money for a handful of people. It makes a lot of money for a handful of people.
Just have to find the right industry.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You'd be good, buying stock in Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and General Dynamics, Halliburton. Yeah. All those guys. They're same old cast of characters. They make money every time.
Every time
somewhere else. Yeah. But anyways, how does the supply chain exactly work here in the US? Like, I know we produce currently right around 60% of our own, like of our total capacity, 60% of it comes from either our offshore or continent, or domestic drilling.
Right. In the lower 48 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and
that industry is I've been reading, learning, researching. It's very regional.
Mm-hmm.
They, there's certain regions, and generally there's a refinery that supplies a certain region. A lot of our stuff comes from Kansas, Wyoming. We can get stuff out of Wyoming, but it is one big giant pipeline that connects all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to an extent. So if there's an issue in the eastern part of the U.S., like let's say Pennsylvania, there's a lot of stuff in Pennsylvania. I mean, there's stuff that comes out our way from there. It might kind of have to puddle jump, but I'm specifically talking for the fuel markets. But if there's a problem one spoke away, it does create a trickle down effect for us.
Yeah. Like when that colonial pipeline shut down here.
Yeah, because like our Kansas stuff got, I don't know, like 50% or something of their supply from the colonial pipeline.
Oh.
So that was fun for a few weeks.
Yeah. That was like a ransomware attack, wasn't it?
It was a malware or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Either Russia or China doing something shisty, probably.
Exactly. And they paid the ransom really fast on that, I think.
I think so too, and
Yeah.
with good reason. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it was
People-
going to screw up half the U.S. pretty badly.
yeah, and yeah, especially in those cities and those heavy populated areas, like shit gets wild real quick when there's
Yeah, it does.
when there's no power, there's no fuel.
Yeah.
People go nuts real quick.
They do. Well, it happens here too, honestly.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing. The old Fox News drum starts beating this no diesel thing,
mhm.
and then the phones ring off the hook for diesel.
Oh, I
And
bet.
that doesn't help anything because you're just exacerbating the problem.
Right.
You're taking a sort of strained inventory and you're making it worse by your for lack of a better word propaganda, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like like with the one run on the banks, same thing, because
Right.
the fractional reserve system, you only what is they're required to have like 10% of what they
10%
loaned.
of their deposits or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so whatever money is deposited in the bank, they have to keep 10% of that on hand.
Correct.
But still, if like yeah, when people start showing up and like, hey, give me all my fucking money, and then
Yeah, that's not
after a while,
good
they're just
either.
like, hey, we don't have any. And
Well, I don't know how I'm going to explain this to you, but we don't have your money.
yeah, we're like, you're a bank, and they're like, yeah. So here's the thing.
It's on loan right now.
Yeah, we spent it, or rather, we
Shit.
gave it to somebody else to spend it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the gist of it. I think that if I was in the Northeast, if I lived in one of the 13 colonies, I think I'd be a little nervous this winter.
Yeah, unless you're
Especially
Pennsylvania,
yeah,
they're probably
especially if it's
okay.
going to be cold, it could get pricey
Yeah, real pricey.
because those are the guys right there that are putting that stuff on a barge and shipping it to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
and
it's
they're talking real deal shortages in the Northeast.
no, I believe it. Now being independent, like, do you guys contract out your I guess allotment for the year or whatever? Like your
No, I mean I can pull as many thousands and millions of gallons as I want to.
okay,
And that's one good thing about being an independent is there's been a lot of the A word, the
mm-hmm.
allocation word lately,
Mm-hmm.
where you can, there might be 200 loads at a refinery, but of those 200, 180 of them might belong to one supplier.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and if you're in a branded type scenario with one of those suppliers that doesn't have 180 of those loads, that's scary. So
Yeah.
that's where I have the leg up is I can pull from anybody.
Okay.
We,
But
we've
the downfall to that is you're buying on the spot market constantly, right?
most of the time, yes, we're buying on the spot market.
Yeah. So
Sometimes that wins, sometimes it's not good.
yeah. Yeah, that's I mean,
But honestly, over the course of at least since I've been back, it's especially now this stuff is so volatile.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a good time to not buy on the spot market because you can. I mean, if you were to speak for a bunch of loads on the wrong side of the price, and this thing might drop out of bed, and then you're stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I was curious about that because I don't I honestly, I think you're doing yourself a disservice by like regularly tuning in to cable news. It's all just
Oh,
horseshit. All of it.
it's the worst thing ever.
It's all like, and I don't care if people are Fox News fans. Fox News is horseshit, just as bad as CNN and the rest of them.
Just as bad as the rest of them.
They just happen to say a few more things that I agree with, but also they're
Right.
still garbage. Like they're not real news, and you know this for a fact with all of them because they've all been sued for defamation or whatever, and they've all used the excuse that they are simply entertainers. So yeah, they're
Pretty
not
much.
news. Yeah, that's true. You can look that up.
Yep.
Tucker Carlson, Rachel Maddow, name a bunch at CNN, and they've all used that excuse that they're not actually news. They are commentators and entertainment. So
Tucker Carlson has sold a lot of fuel lately.
I bet so.
He's sold a bunch of it.
I bet so. But like going back to that, like that allocation deal, like, so guys like you are buying surplus of what's already been contracted out through Chevron and whoever else.
Right.
You know,
See, every gallon we buy has been contracted at one point in time, whether it was a week ago or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been contracted.
And so what I was reading about is so you get we import about 40% of our like refining supply, and about 60% of it comes domestically. And once it gets to wherever the like this you know it offloads from a barge, or it comes in on a pipeline, or
Right.
it gets trucked wherever it goes, then it goes to like some short-term storage like it's shown here. And then once it gets refined, then it goes through different levels of refinement. But then like when it goes to like say gasoline and diesel, wherever it comes out at, then there's certain like that final stage, like right here, that's where they add your additives and the ethanol. So like if you go what was the yellow, the one right there on the corner of Shields and Elizabeth, Shell. Shell, they put so much detergent and stuff in theirs, or whatever they do to, because it's supposedly a better gasoline. It was
that's a marketing deal like none other.
Mm-hmm. Is it like
there's
certified Angus beef?
Exactly. There you go. Certified Angus.
Yeah. Kansas City
that's
it up. Did you see that?
Oh shit! Did they really?
Yeah. Patty Mahomes ran it in both times, the touchdown and the 2-point.
Imagine that.
Dude's a stud. I hate to say it, but as a diehard Kansas City hater, they're a lot of fun to watch, even when
they are
doing
fun.
Shitty. They're a lot of fun.
They're still fun, aren't they?
I know it. They're and how do you not? It was getting real close to not liking Patty Mahomes just because of his stupid brother. But now that he's not there anymore, I kind of like him.
Oh man,
like
he told him to go quiet, get off the airwaves.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Take your girlfriend and get gone. Get gone.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, so like each different company has their own set of additives or whatever that they put in to, meet their specs. It's like the Colonel with his 13 herbs and spices or whatever.
So yeah, all that stuff is in the same freaking tank, man.
Yeah.
It's just whoever you pick that day to buy it from, that's the fuel you get. That's such a big gimmick. Now there are parts of the US that have better quality fuel just in general. Like it depends on what refinery it comes from.
Oh,
But
okay.
usually the stuff we get is it's pretty good on, especially on the diesel.
Mhm.
Pretty good diesel.
Well, that has a lot to do with the crude oil too, because like I
Yes,
know this.
because you can buy different grades of crude oil too.
Yeah, and because like a
Um,
lot of the stuff that comes out of Venezuela is like super heavy crude or something like that.
yes.
And like, isn't it like the West Texas stuff is supposed to be or used to be the best? I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what they usually you want you want one of them to make gasoline from and you want one of them to make diesel from.
Diesel
I'd
and
be
byproducts, I think.
right.
Yeah,
I'd be lying if I told you which one was which, but
yeah. I don't know either, but I know from what I've heard, like Venezuela, like they have a ton of oil, but it's like super heavy and
right.
kind of
Trashy
dirty. Is
almost. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So it'd be like running your combine through a bunch of weeds and shit.
And honestly, that's probably the stuff that they're okay with making diesel from because the gas takes more refining anyway.
Yeah, like the diesel, they pretty much just scoop all the debris out of it and run it through a filter, and then it's good.
Yep, and they wash the sulfur out with water. Keep that in mind.
Huh.
You're buying a little bit of water with every gallon of diesel
Yeah.
you buy.
So is that why like it used to be not as big of a deal with diesel fuel gelling up because
Exactly.
they
Yep.
didn't wash the sulfur out?
It wasn't ultra low sulfur.
Huh. So
Yep.
I mean it would still gel up because like
It would still
crude
gel for
naturally
sure.
has some
R-
water to it and
It has a pour point, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
But
Huh.
no,
Interesting.
that's why it all gels a little bit easier now. That's literally they pour that stuff out on a slab, and it's a pretty much just a pressure washer. It pressure washes the sulfur out of it.
Huh.
So
That's handy.
yeah, right.
It's some of these like I wonder if like your regular average person that that doesn't have an autistic brain like mine that uh like goes
Artistic or autistic?
autistic.
Oh, okay.
Slightly artistic, but mostly autist.
Right,
But I got the good kind, you know, I'm still functional.
right.
I got autism light.
uh,
Um, but like with when going back to diesel engines, like you used to be able to pull anything you wanted to with a diesel and still get like 25 mile a gallon. Um,
right.
and then they got worried about the emissions, and which I mean, I guess for the layperson it makes kind of sense because you can blow a lot of black smoke with a diesel engine. But
Yes,
then
you can.
they choke down the exhaust, and so the motor has to work harder to get the same uh,
It
power.
works
It burns
harder.
more.
It works
Yeah,
hotter. It's the
yep,
most ridiculous thing.
yeah. So you burn more fuel, and therefore probably put out more emissions. But since they run it through urea at a really high, high temperature, then which is
It
kind of
just
what
makes
they're.
it go away.
Isn't that kind of the same process as washing your diesel? It's just like spraying urea on the
Yeah,
on the
pretty
exhaust
much.
as it comes out.
It just dilutes it, is all it's doing.
Yeah. So
Just diluting the
this
exhaust.
yeah, and then you'll have to clean out a filter every so often,
Yep.
but then to clean that you burn it out with a regen.
Yeah, for an hour long regen, your engine's idling at like 2,800 RPMs.
Yeah, like because it's the dumbest thing, especially those early regen. Like we had like the early years of those regen trucks when I was over at Syracuse, we had all Peterbilts and the PACCAR motors.
Yeah.
And in a feed truck, like you're not driving for a sustained
No,
uh
you never spend enough time going down the road.
Yeah, so you would just have to stop, and like if it got, you'd hope you could finish your load before it was done, so you could make it back up to the shop and then let it do the regen.
Let it do its thing.
But then it would get to a point where then it just derate it, and then it would eventually shut it down. And then if it shut down from it, then you'd have to have a mechanic come out and
clear all the shit off of it.
Yeah, and that costs you a couple grand pretty easy. And just for that, just for the call will cost you, $500-$600. And then so you're still burning far more fuel. And it's fucking dumb. Everybody,
it is.
as soon as they're if they live in a place that doesn't have to do a smog test, as soon as their warranty's up on those vehicles, they delete it and pull all that shit off of there. And Ross was telling me on their fleet, they're all Chevy fleet vehicles except for his. He usually drives a Dodge, but
right.
Yeah, as soon as the warranty's up, they pull it and they'll gain like 6 to 7 mile a gallon and 100 horse stock.
Yeah, and it runs cooler too.
Yeah, it runs better. Like it.
Yeah, it runs 15-20 degrees cooler.
Yeah, and these new motors are amazing. I remember when we went to see Turnpike there at Red Rocks, we rented a car at the airport, and it was just like I think it was a Toyota Corolla, and a little four banger. That thing's got some shit and get now, and like these new cars have got some fucking power, and particularly with like these new diesel motors, like if you can actually open that baby up and just let it fucking eat, man. Like you could pull all this shit and still like, get better fuel mileage than, like an older half ton.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's crazy.
We did a bad thing earlier this spring.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a 18 model Chevrolet Duramax that was getting ready to leave us.
Oh.
Stranded somewhere. That piece of crap, dude. It was in the shop more than it was on the road. I kid you not. It was awful. So we decided we finally better get rid of it. We couldn't find a GM to trade it in on.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried a Ram. We got a Ram. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you
pulls really well. I wouldn't say that yet. It don't have enough miles on it yet to be fully converted, but boy, it pulls like a champ. It really drives nice.
You still got the old pewter half ton? Is that still kicking around, or did you get rid of that?
My dad took that down to South Texas.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it's a farm pickup now.
Oh, okay. I figured it went right over the border into Mexico.
No, it spends its days picking up all the campsites from all the illegals.
It's South Texas Burning Man.
Exactly. And Dad still has Colorado plates on it too, which makes it even better. He gets stopped all the time when he's driving it.
That's funny. He's down in South Texas now?
Oh, not right now. He's here now, but yeah, he's been spending some time down there.
Nice. Is he getting a tan?
No.
He's not.
No.
He's not visiting the beach.
No, he wears long sleeves, dude, the whole time.
I feel him.
But he's usually down there working. Sheesh.
Yeah.
He don't know how to do anything but.
My dad's so crippled up now that he can't hardly physically work anymore. But
no,
he's always doing something.
He's always tinkering.
Yeah, he's tinkering.
He's always down at the clubhouse a lot.
Yeah, the clubhouse, and then and he's always trying to piss somebody off. Like who can I piss off today? He does a good job of it. I will say
he does a pretty good job. Yep, he's got a couple of guys fighting mad.
Oh well, most of the time he finds the right people to make mad.
Yeah.
Other times he can get to where he'll pick a fight that he doesn't need to.
That's not necessarily warranted.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been known to do that a time or two, and Tamara
Shit.
usually kind of keeps him in line on that.
Yeah. Oh, that's freaking funny.
Oh, I was actually working on a bit the other day. So Tamara, well, she's almost a full on empty nester. Callum's the
Yeah.
last one, and he's in high school. Micah's at UW right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she went to school up in Laramie, and so now Tamara got her real estate license and she's selling houses, and now she's on social media. She has never had social media until this summer.
Now she's promoting herself, huh?
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like watching a kid learn social media for their first time, except she's older than me.
Oh, God dang it.
It's like all sweet and innocent, and it's like, oh, you haven't been through the depths of Facebook hell yet.
She's gonna start like asking questions to a certain person on her wall.
Yeah,
That's what all the old people do.
I haven't seen that yet, but I hope it does.
Mary, did you get my message?
Her and Tony are having a conversation on somebody else's post.
Exactly.
They're having a conversation about the kids and the family reunion on somebody
I
else's
can see it
post.
happening right now.
I hope it does. It's quite entertaining to watch though. Like it's really refreshing, because Facebook's just a cesspool.
Yeah,
And,
for real.
And not a good cesspool either. Like,
no,
it's, like it used to be kind of funny, but now it's just like, I don't know. Social media Trump broke everything. You know that? Like,
he did.
They
got so butthurt.
I'm not completely opposed to everything that he did. I thought he was probably the best president in my lifetime, which is not saying a lot, but
no, we haven't had a very good sample size there.
No, like we got the tail end of Reagan, but we didn't know what the fuck was going on then. And then the more you look back at what Reagan did, and you're like,
no, that wasn't very good either.
Yeah, he talked a good game, did not deliver on a whole lot of stuff, but
right.
But he wasn't all bad. Clinton kind of the same way. He wasn't all bad, but he wasn't all that good. And then George W. was fucking terrible. Obama was fucking terrible, and honestly, the Trump experience was fucking terrible because even when he was doing good shit, you didn't know because it was all just
tainted
witch hunts and shit. And and he didn't help himself. Like, I'm not convinced that he won't get charged. Well, I'm pretty convinced he'll be charged, but I'm not that convinced that he'll beat any charges. Like, he's not helping his case.
No.
I mean,
no.
So
if that ding dong would have stayed off Twitter, he might still be president.
He might have, or if he could have just shut up every now and then. Like,
exactly.
Like, going back to my dad, like, Trump would pick fights that he didn't need to. Like, it'd be a slow news day, and he'd just like, let me say something insane to get him riled up again, and
to shake the tree a little bit.
Yeah, like the other day he's like coming at DeSantis now, like, what the fuck, dude? Just
why? I guess I haven't been paying much attention lately.
Yeah, well, because I've also I know somebody else has said it, but I don't know. I'm the first one that I can remember. I know for sure said it, but Trump is like the Jerry Garcia of politics at this point. It's
yeah, right.
Like, he's got the same people that follow him to all those rallies, and they just want to hear him play the hits, man. Just lock her up, stolen election, crooked Hillary. He's playing the hits. It's just and it's like they're a bunch of people that they're just like following around the Grateful Dead or Fish or something like that.
Just hoping for that one song.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of like him like that. Just let him do that and just stay out of actual politics. Like, let him be the kingmaker or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But
Exactly.
I'm really worried he's gonna run again and he's gonna win, and then we're gonna have 4 even crazier years of Democrats. Like, most of the Democrats,
mind-blowing crazy.
Yeah, they've always been kind of crazy in my lifetime. To a lesser extent, but they went like full on crazy, and now Kansas City's in overtime.
Yep, they just won the toss too.
Nice. Well, I think I can safely say that I won that 3-leg bet, because the more they're on the field, the more yards Patty Mahomes has, and the more
Did you covered the spread.
The spread was huge on this game. It was like 13.
Oh my gosh!
Unless they score a touchdown, I won't cover that. Like,
right.
I teased it down to, I think, to 6.5. And but
well,
also,
you still wouldn't even cover it then, because they don't kick the PAT.
I know it. That's true. Well, he missed a PAT and a field goal too.
Yeah, no shit. Wouldn't be in this situation.
I know it. Either way, so I'll probably lose that bet, but what did I tell you? It was Mahomes 285 passing, Kelsey 80 receiving, and Travis Henry 92 or more. I think I hit all those. So
yeah, you're good there.
Yeah, that's that'll cover the rest of the money I lost on the Chiefs tonight. So there we go.
Man.
It's funny. I did an episode on. Did you hear about the Easter Day Farms deal up in Washington?
No, I have not.
He defrauded Tyson out of like $265 million.
Good for him.
I know. He's going to jail for about 10 years, but not just jail, but like federal penitentiary for quite a while.
Federal pound me in the ass prison.
Yeah. And it all started, he got in the sweetheart deal with Tyson, and they were selling beef over in Japan. But those sweetheart deals, it was one of those deals where they fronted him the money and the feed, the money to buy the cattle and the feed, and then you keep the profits if you make it.
Right.
And so then he got to hedging and really playing the commodities market and lost his fucking ass. So then he started invoicing them for cattle that didn't exist. And,
okay.
Yeah.
And they were paying the bills, huh?
Yeah. $265 million is what they got him for.
Who's in charge of inventory control on that?
Yeah, I'm not real for sure, but
we are paying for cattle that we haven't been killing.
I know it. It's
what the fuck?
We got a real backlog here.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Well, I gotta take a leak. Let's call that for the main episode, and then we'll come back and bullshit some more for a little bit until you gotta go night.
Okay.
All right. Move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Your eyes up in the morning, beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight.